Hello and welcome to another episode of Go to Australia TV show, your show. Thanks for watching previous episodes, and as you've seen in previous episodes, we've talked about different Australian visas. In particular, in last episode, we talked about business visas, and we specifically talked about subclass 188A, or what is known as business innovation visa. We talked about point tests and how to get points. In this episode, we're going to talk about the next 4 provisional visas under subclass 188. And then we're going to talk about permanent business visas, subclass 132. So let's start the program. Okay, the next visa is subclass 188B, or what is known as investor visa. As you may recall, we said for this visa you need to make a commitment of investing $1.5 million in Australia. Here we explain the requirements for this visa. First, your age should be under 55. If you're over 55, unless one of the states waive the condition, you cannot apply. But thankfully, there are some states in Australia which will still allow you to apply for this visa even if you are over 55. The next criteria to meet is to score 65 points or more in points scored. And how to get those points, we'll briefly go through, although we have gone through in the last episode. The next item is to have a minimum assets of $2.25 million. So that's $2,250,000. The next item is to have a commitment of $1.5 million investment in one of the states. And that investment remains as a bond with the state's treasury for a minimum of 4 years before you can apply for permanent residency. So basically for this visa, you need to place $1.5 million as investment with one of the states as a bond, and then after 4 years you can apply for that visa and get your money back. To apply for permanent visa, and then get your money back. The next item is to have a minimum of 3 years experience in investment. And finally, the last item we need to know about is that you need to have at least one of the past 5 years manage a business or manage an investment, eligible investment, which is worth at least $1.5 million. So that was the general criteria for subclass 188B, and we briefly explained how to get the 65 points as we explained in previous episode. As I said, to get 65 points, you need to meet certain criteria and have some eligibility. And in previous episode, we talked about how to get points for business visas, especially for business innovation visa. So the point system for investor visa is almost the same except for one difference. And it is for investment, you will get points here. Over there, you will get points for management skills in your business, but here you will get points for management skills in your investment. And that investment should be at least $100,000 or more. So if you have managed an investment of $100,000 or more in eligible investments for the past 4 years, you will get 10 points. And if you've done so for the past 7 years, you will get 15 points. And then you can calculate your points. If you've got enough points, you can apply for visa. Okay, the next stream, or the next business provisional visa stream, is what we call significant investor visa. And by significant, obviously, it means you need to invest more money in Australia. And for this particular subclass of visa, which is called subclass 188C, you need to invest at least $5 million in business or as a bond with one of the states in Australia, so you can get a significant investor visa. This is a 4 years visa, and so that means for 4 years you need to have this commitment to keep or maintain this $5 million investment in Australia to be eligible to later on apply for permanent visa. And obviously, to get this visa, you need to be sponsored by one of the states. This is like previous visas we talked about. You need to get a state sponsorship. And because the investment has some complexity and you may not want to place all the money with the government agencies or treasuries, and you want to invest it in your own business, which is the option you have here, you may need to talk to one of my colleagues to show you how to do it, because it's a bit complex.
Where would you like to live? Where is your second home? How far would you care to follow your dreams? VisaYob will help you obtain visas for Australia, New Zealand, Europe, and Canada. We will also support you with company registration, business investment, job offers, and settlement services. We will show you the optimal path. We will walk every inch of the way with you. Choice, not chance, makes destiny.
您知道吗？根据专业数据显示，最有效的媒体宣传形式是电视广告。澳大利亚 TV2 电视台，我们强大的市场策划团队将会为您量身打造最经济有效的市场策划方案。短时期内提高产品的知名度、销售额以及投资回报率将不再是梦想。您还在等什么？请根据屏幕上方的联系方式联系我们 info@tv2.com.au 或者致电我们1300-002-777。
Okay, the fourth visa, subclass 188 stream, which is also known as premium investor visa, is for those who can afford and who want to commit to a minimum of $15 million investment in Australia. And in that scenario, you need to be sponsored or nominated by Austrade, and Austrade basically nominates you to the government and introduces you to the government, and the government then invites you to apply for a visa. And in that scenario, the visa is more flexible. Obviously, it's a 4 years visa again, but it is much more flexible in terms of your stay in Australia, in terms of what you're going to do with your investment in Australia. But the minimum commitment is $15 million. And the last but not least stream of 188 visa is called 188E, or entrepreneur visa. So what is entrepreneur visa? It is for applicants who are able to secure or to get a fund of $200,000 or more as a minimum, and to undertake a complying entrepreneur activity in Australia, basically to lead to either commercialization of a brand or a product in Australia, or to develop a business product in Australia. Okay, that's it so far. We have talked about 5 streams of subclass 188, which is a provisional business visa, is a temporary business visa, which is for 4 years. And we talked about different streams: innovation stream, investor stream, significant investor stream, and so on. Now we're going to talk about permanent visa, as you may recall, in previous episode, we said there is a subclass 132 visa, which is a permanent business visa. And applicants who are eligible to get that visa, they can get it from day one. Instead of coming on a provisional or temporary visa, they can apply for a permanent visa and come here as a permanent resident on day one. But how to get it? Let's talk about criteria for this visa. Okay, to get a subclass 132 visa, there are again two streams. One is called a talent stream or business talent stream, is for successful business people who can show certain abilities, and I'll explain what that abilities or criteria are. And the second stream is for those people who can get funding from a venture capital company or business in Australia. But the first stream, which is the significant business history stream or talent stream, to meet the criteria, you need to first be under age 55, unless one of the states have waived that condition. So you must be under 55 unless the state or the territory agency has waived that condition. And the second item on this list is to have a minimum assets of $1.5 million. So here you need, unlike the previous visa 188, which you only needed to have $800,000 in assets, here you need to have $1.5 million in assets. And actually you need to make a commitment of $1.5 million business in Australia. The next item is to have a business assets of $400,000 or more. So the minimum of your business assets should be $400,000 or more. You need to be sponsored by one of the states or territories in Australia. And finally, and most importantly, the turnover for your business, the business that you are managing and you are a shareholder of, should be at least $3 million or more. So this is again a different point compared to the business innovation stream. You need here to have a business with a turnover of $3 million or more per year for 2 years within the last 4 years. Obviously, you need to show that you have managed that business or you are one of the main managers of that business. And the second stream of subclass 132 permanent business visa is what is called venture capital entrepreneur stream. And that's for those applicants who are able to get $1 million in fund from an Australian venture capital firm. Okay, so what's the steps to be taken to get business visas? As we explained in previous episode, you need to obviously make sure you get enough points. If your visa is a point-based system, before we go on, I must say that subclass 132 is not a point-based system, so you don't need to get points. But obviously to start, you need to make sure if you are applying for other streams, you need to make sure if you need points, you get the required points. Gather your documents, prepare your documents, apply for a state sponsorship, and then if successful, if your state sponsorship application is successful, apply for visa. And depending on which stream of your visa you're applying for, the processing time would vary a bit. But at the end, if your business application is successful, you will be granted a business visa and you come and do your business in Australia. Yeah, so look, business visas are a bit complex to find out the ways which one to apply for and how to get one. You need to be dealing with your accountants, your financial advisors, your business investors, and so on. So you need to make sure, because you're talking about heavy investments like 1.5 million or less or more in another country. So you need to consult with a migration agent, a registered migration agent in your country or here in Australia, and seek the best advice and find the best way for you to make sure you don't invest or you don't commit to an investment that you may not be able to do or undertake later on. Okay then, that was it for today's program. As you may recall, in this and previous episode, we talked about Australian business visas, we talked about provisional and permanent business visas, and we said that we have 5 streams of provisional visas under subclass 188, and we have 2 streams of permanent business visas under subclass 132. There are some other permanent business visas, but that's for people who have come on a provisional visa and then want to apply for a permanent visa in Australia. And that's a subclass 888, which we haven't talked about and we're not going to talk about. That's only for people who are here in Australia and have been here on a business provisional visa. I hope that today's program has been useful to you. Please continue following us on Instagram and Facebook, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and leave your feedback and comments so we can improve the program. Thanks again for watching the program, and see you next time.